I don't think you all have seen us doing introductions, but we've got these long sheets of paper that you have to drag over your arm with the proper. And when the wind is blowing and they're all down on the ground and they're coming apart and you're doing them too fast and the paper is crinkling and making everybody just hates each other after we're finished doing this. Really, it's just the worst thing you can imagine. It's too slow, it's too fast, it's making too much noise on the camera. Don't do that. You know, it's horrible. I can't see it. I can't see it. And then we want to thank, where's Tim? Oh, well, there he is down on the floor. And Tim is an organist as well. We want to thank him for his help to Tim. And if you have this, you let me know and you can trade it in for something else.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tim. All right. And I want to say a personal, very personal, meaningful, to me, thank you for Mary Roman, who produced the Joy music for how many years?
Hundreds. No, I guess about, what, 15, 16, something.
You want to say something, Mary?
Well, actually, I wish I could see everybody. It really has been a joy in my life just to, first of all, just have gotten to know Diane. And maybe you don't know this, but when I first met her, she was like 5 years old, and I was about 9 or 10, whatever. But anyway, she told me when she first came to Coral Ridge that she wants to be on television. She says, I don't want to be an organist. I'd rather be a dress designer or a comedian, but I'm going to be on television someday. And I said, oh, that's great. I said, but you're a pretty good organist. So she said it was the desire of her heart. When she studied in Holland, she was a Fulbright scholar, and she studied with Gustav Leonhardt. And also, she also won a government scholarship to France and studied with Marie-Claire Alain and Madame Boulanger, who people like all these great, wonderful, Leonard Bernstein and various people, they also studied with her. She said, well, when I would have to go and practice on these great, wonderful organs, she said, I'd sit in the church, these great cathedrals, and then I'd come out in the square and all these wonderful, charming buildings. She says, one of these days, I'm going to have a television program, and it's going to be going over different parts of the world, playing these instruments, and, you know, having like the cultural experience, a travel experience. So that was a desire of her heart. And we've been friends a long, long time. And so that when Diane was, Dr. Kennedy started his television program from Coral Ridge, that's when she thought, this is a good time to see what she could do. And of course, the person who was in charge of that ministry said, they'll never want to listen to an organ program. Forget it. You know, it just wouldn't go. It's just, the idea was just no good. So the Lord has blessed us with wonderful people who have crossed our paths, who were interested in hearing, first of all, were enchanted with Diane's talent and personality and so forth. And they introduced us to other people who opened doors so that the Joy of Music started back in 1983. Diane produced the first pilot with her own funding and so forth. And so at least she had a pilot to present to TBN. And they were very wonderful too. We have to give them credit. So after all these years, I've sort of been kind of a behind the scenes person, but it's been my privilege to just see all this happen, how the Lord opened the doors and blessed, and in spite of all the trials and tribulations, we have really remained tight friends, and we've been blessed. And I thank Diane for that.
Mary was, before she was with me, she taught school.
Yeah.
She taught music
at Pinecrest.
At Pinecrest School in Fort Lauderdale. And then she was public relations for Dr. Kennedy. Mm-hmm. And Living Bibles. She worked with Living Bibles. and then she started with the Joy Music, and she is the one that got Lufthansa to fly us all over, and got all the tourist boards to work with us and give us free this and free that. And it's too bad that she's retired, because nothing is quite the same. But what she did on this trip was she gave me moral support, and she also drove every day, which was an experience. Anyway, this is just a little token.
Thank you. Thank you. That's it.
And then we have I know you all could give the speech more than I, but a guy that's been with us for quite a while, and he helps us. He helps the tour, he helps us, he makes telephone calls, he lends us his phone, he makes calls, he lends us money, he tells us where to go. Everybody's always telling us where to go. And you all know that he's the greatest. And we want to thank Pear. Where are you, Pear? Y'all make sure you thank Pear. I know. And we have the new kid on the block. Where's the new kid on the block? There he is over there. Andy. You all love Andy. I know you do. Well, everybody's special in this room, but we have two ladies that are really special. They're the matriarchs of the Joy of Music. And they're Betty Eckhart and Margaret. And Margaret has been on how many tours? 22 or 23. 22 or 23. And you want to say something, Margaret?
Go ahead.
Come on, Margaret.
I don't know what to say except that I found Diane one night on TV. I saw this blonde playing the organ on Coral Ridge Hour, and I thought, well, no, I beg your pardon. I started out and found the blonde on TV, and I watched the program, Joy Music, and I thought, that's real neat. A couple weeks later, I was on the dial again, and I find Dr. Kennedy's program, and here's this blonde, and I said, there's that same blonde. And I just started to follow Diane and found her to be a real joy. She loves the Lord, and she's just been an inspiration in my life. And the people that I've met on these tours, all over the United States, even some here in Europe that I've stayed in touch with. And she's just been a real inspiration. And the Joy Music, and I just say, if any of you have a few extra shekels, just send them to the Joy Music, because it all helps just little by little.
That's right.
Yes, it does.
That's
Thank
right.
you, Margaret.
Thank you, Margaret.
Margaret really has been, an inspiration over the years, and keeps in touch with so many of the Joy Music people, and lives in Cabot, Pennsylvania.
Yes, they don't understand. My address is Cabot, but I live near Saxonburg.
We're near Saxonburg, which is not far from Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And so we and I really appreciate Margaret.
Thank you.
And we hope we have many more years to have Margaret on the tours. And our other grand dame, we have two grand dames. Betty, you have something you'd like to say? I know you said something earlier. Everybody knows Betty Eckhart, right?
Yeah, right.
You don't have to make a speech, but
B.E. Express.
well, I think you could probably say something inspirational.
Well, I, like Margaret, found Diane on television, but I have to watch her 3 o'clock in the morning, maybe later, about 4:30 a.m. And I wish I could get her in another hour, when I'm really wide awake. But
Maybe that's why you like it, because you're happy.
and then on one of the programs, I noticed they had these tours, so I inquired into that, and here I am. Been on all of them since 2000.
But it was in April that you were in the hospital very, very sick. And we're all thankful that the Lord brought her through, plus her family. So,
Well, I wouldn't be here without them.
boy, that's the truth.
And they wouldn't be here without you.
Now
Well, she did her job.
Oh, I get it now, Mary.
Is anyone else like to say anything or do anything or?
I just would like to thank Mary Roman. She's got tons of experience doing this, and I'm really inexperienced and fresh at it. So she has been it's really been great to have her on this trip because she's been a constant, source of advice or resource. And so I want to say just a personal thanks to you from me for all the assistance you've given and encouragement and just pats on the back. Those are nice. Thank you.
Same to you.
Well,
Really.
we're starting a club, Mary. Now.
Yeah. No one can empathize with Tim. What Tim has to do is all behind the scenes, and he really is the very center of everybody's punching. But he really kept this taping tour running very smoothly, and the whole staff is appreciative of what Tim has done. And I'm appreciative of what all of you guys have done. You've been great.
Well, we appreciate all of your understanding when sometimes things don't always work out the way they're supposed to, or things run late, or we're not where we're supposed to be. It's just almost impossible to do everything the way we plan when you come over here, and you have to plan from across the ocean, and these churches are open all day long. They have weddings come up and funerals and things that you have to deal with. The organs are broken, and just everything. So it's really difficult, and so I appreciate all of your understanding for all the little problems that we have. And I hope that you will come on another tour. We're going to have one at Christmas time, and that's a great tour. I ride and on the bus, and we're all are on the bus together, and we're all freezing in the churches, and it's really great. It's really a great tour, isn't it, Mary?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wouldn't miss it.
Can you tell where you're
Diane,
Yeah.
ask them if they would like to have lunch with the cows.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We go to this restaurant outside Salzburg that the cows eat in the same restaurant as the people. It's really nice. Yeah, and if it gets too bad, we just eat the cows. Or vice versa. Well, anyway. And I think it'll probably be around December 1st through the 10th or something like that, or this December 2nd to or something. Later. You like it later?
Where are you going this year?
We're going to the Ulm Cathedral first, Oberammergau,
Rotenburg.
Rotenburg, Salzburg, Munich, and it's a great tour. So
Just bring your long johns with you.
yeah, bring your long johns and your ear muffs. Any questions or anything?
I've got one.
Yeah.
Do you know anything yet about next summer?
Well, I have always wanted to go to, I know, this is just something I want to do. I don't know if it'll work out, but I've always wanted to go to Poland, to Warsaw and Krakow and North Poland, and then Riga, Latvia, which has a wonderful cathedral in it, and Estonia. Those three places I've wanted to go, and Kiev, Russia. So we'll see what happens.
Bye.
Yeah. group picture?
No, 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 no. Okay, this goes back to 1996. We were ending the tour in Zurich. We were flying home from Zurich. You had a taping in Ebermünster.
Oh,
Oh yeah, in Alsace.
oh.
The tour group has been practicing for a couple of days. I mean,
Everyone's remember? Oh.
remember, really take in what I'm saying now.
Yeah.
Music has no boundaries. You get me? Margaret was not on the choir. We were seeing the wallpaper coming down when they were rehearsing. We're coming to Ebermünster Cathedral, Ebermünster Monastery. Diane is walking out the church and we are walking in together with you. Can you believe it? And Diane says, it's terrible because the organ is completely out of tune. Then Mother Margaret here stands up and says, don't worry about it, Diane, then it will go nicely with the choir.
I think we tried to sing Amazing Grace with that.
It was Amazing Grace from the American Civil War.
I remember that. It was about like the choir yesterday.
Oh, we were much worse. I mean, they were much worse.
They were better. They were
Oh,
better.
They were better
the choir
yesterday.
yesterday was in excellent shape compared to this
They
one.
were so sweet. And they sang with their hearts and they were so
Yes.
sweet.
Yes. And
And
that's
I-
what I mean, music has no boundaries.
I did an interview with a 103-year-old man.
Good.
And he
good.
was so sweet. He was just fantastic.
Didn't they? That was a Silberman organ, wasn't it? That was. And they finally did get it all restored.
Oh, I don't know. It's a fabulous organ.
It was scheduled to
falling
be
apart.
anyway at that time. But it was hard to sing with that. I didn't think it would make such a difference.
Oh, yeah, that was.
Well, good night to everybody. Thanks a lot.
See you in the morning.
See you tomorrow.